Hey guys, it's Nikki. I know it has been a while, but it has been a lot that has happened over the past 2 weeks. I'm sure you see by the title of the video that I have chosen to quit my regular day job. And don't mind me if I'm looking down because I want to make sure that I actually, touch bases on everything I want to talk to. So if you're not the kind of person that wants to, watch YouTube videos that have a little bit of, ranting, raving, or a little lengthier responses, then move on because this video is just what it is. So the week of August 4th, I decided that enough was enough. The handful of people that know what I was dealing with working where I was working, it had been years of just foolishness, ridiculousness, and down to the point where, even in the effort to get HR, which we all know, HR isn't there to help you, they're there to help the employer. But in effort to get that resolved, it never got resolved. It was not going to get resolved because when any company, whether, private sector, federal sector, when they're out to get you, they're out to get you. That's just what it is. And if I have not, said it before, I smell bullshit a mile away. So even before I got to the point where I decided enough is enough, I did, read some things, read some articles, read some books, even got on YouTube and searched for, people that says, I quit my job. And of course, what I primarily found was people that, I quit some bullshit kind of job, the $8 an hour job, something that easily replaceable jobs. And I get that, and I'm not knocking anybody's hustle, but I am in the IT world, and I am in a competitive field, and good jobs are hard to come by sometimes. But the primary positive that I think I always, looked at on top of that was given my history, if you will. The job that I had up until the point of this quitting was secure, because in the federal government, for the most part, unless you're really messing up, the likelihood of you losing your job is slim to none. They have to literally, I'm sure you guys have been around people that are federal, but it comes a time where you have to ask yourself, is this really worth it? Is this worth, the energy that I'm pouring into it? Is this where I want to be? And ultimately, when I say given my history, I don't think I've left a job on the mutual, oh, well, I'm just going somewhere else and pursue this, blah, blah, blah. I don't think I've ever left a corporate America job on that note. From the military to my job with CSC after, it's all been because people tend to believe that they can treat you any kind of way, they can talk to you any kind of way, and basically you're going to tolerate it for a paycheck. And unfortunately and sadly, a lot of people will. I cannot begin to say how elated I was to quit. And yeah, I quit in a very epic fashion, but it was well deserved given the history of what I was dealing with, working there. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to allow any place to put me in a position that my health is in jeopardy. When it comes down to it, you have to ask yourself, is this place worth my health? Is this place worth my sanity? Am I going through all of these things, all of these things for what? For the benefits? Yeah, federal benefits are top notch. But at the end of the day, if it's your job that's making you sick or making you more sick, what's the point? Defeating the purpose. So either way, I left. And my being there really made me realize some things. And that's what I was about to go into, but I will start off with that. When I said, given my history and how, for the most part, I've left jobs, I've come to learn about myself that me and corporate America don't work. Me and general corporate, and I can't even say it's corporate America. The kind of people that occupy supervisory positions or positions where they believe they have this perceived level of authority over you, we don't mix. Because I'm not the kind of person that's going to allow somebody to just talk to me any kind of way, especially someone who cannot do my job. You see, in my current situation that I just left, I had a supervisor that knows shit about IT. Not even in the textbook context, but you want to tell me how to do my job. And you see, I don't have a problem with suggestions, but when you don't know what someone's job entails, and you don't know how to do their job, and you're their supervisor, here's some advice for anybody that may be in that position. Trust that your employee knows what they're doing, especially if they've been there a long time. Allow them to do their job. Ensure that they keep you up to date on what's going on. But other than that, if you don't know how to do the job, leave people alone. Because at the end of the day, what happens when that person leaves? You see, I was the only IT for the past 6 years. So you replace the body, you can't replace the expertise. Because that's a level of continuity for that place. So I'm just over it. And at the end of the day, that's just that. Me and corporate America don't get along because you have people in their perceived perception of authority that want to abuse it and think that everybody's going to just tolerate it. I'm going to go ahead and say about 90% of people probably will tolerate it. I'm not part of that 90%. I do understand that everybody can't just drop everything, but oftentimes that comes from the fear that a lot of people have of leaving somewhere that's negative, somewhere that is not conducive to what they would like to achieve in life. And I guess in my position, it would be perfect for, somebody who requires that. Being stuck somewhere Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 4 is not conducive to what I want to do with my life, what I want to accomplish beyond what I've already accomplished. Yeah, that's just what it is. So after that, I did make a promise to myself, which was number one, I'm going to use this downtime to see things for what they are. I've done a lot of thinking, and that includes, places, people, things. I have some things in the works that I will disclose when the time is appropriate. But as of right now, I don't see myself just jumping into another job. I refuse. I am pouring more energy into establishing myself as far as where I want to be with something that I paid 12 grand to do, which was cosmetology. I've never had a problem in that industry. I just got my license at a time when the economy was crappy, and that innate fear of failure. I think that fear of not knowing what's going to come. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Well, I've set myself up in a much better position now to where if that's what I want to do, I should be able to do that. And I also promised myself that I would not go back to IT unless it was absolutely required. And that's just where I'm at with it. Can't do it. I don't want to be at a job or somewhere I don't want to be for the sake of a paycheck and some benefits. I want to be happy doing what I do. I want to enjoy what I do. I don't want to be told how to do things outside of what is proper and right to do. I don't want to be told or talked to in a manner that people feel they can talk to you that way because they believe you don't have any other skills, you don't have any other things to do. So, departing advice for anybody in a situation, whether it be by choice or by force, lose the fear. Lose the fear, because I had a brief conversation in which discussing with someone about, you know, they were talking about how they wanted to go to another company because the pay was a little better and they had a pension. And I mean, that's not, nothing wrong with that. But I guess I kind of thought to myself, excuse the pause, aren't you worth more than a pension? Or is that as far as your aspirations go? You know, that's not a question for me to answer, because I know I don't want to go slave for anyone else day in, day out. Excuse me, regardless of what the industry is. I don't want to go work for somebody else, putting in all this time for it to, one, possibly not be worth it, two, have the even higher probability that you won't be there until retirement. You have to realize that people are not valued the way they once were in the work industry. It's just what it is. These companies and businesses, they're not loyal to their people or their employees anymore, because jobs are so damn scarce these days. People will say, hey, I can do the same job for you for half the cost. And guess what? Bye. You know, seniority, all those things, they don't value, they don't hold to these things anymore. So if I'm gonna slave, I'd rather slave for myself, because I don't want to turn around, even if you stay somewhere 25, 30 years, you get this pension or this check, your retirement, but now you can't even really enjoy it that way, because you've spent the last 25, 30 years slaving. So let me go ahead and slave for myself to attempt to create the kind of life I want, so that retirement is not something that I'm really, really, strung out on and making my decisions based on just that. I want to live my life to the fullest potential. I want to do what I want to do and create a life I love. And that's just it. Thank you all for watching. I know this was a little lengthy, but this is what it is. Had to go. I'll talk to you all soon, and I'll be checking in with you all pretty soon beyond that as well. Thanks for watching again. Bye.